Welcome to another week, and we understand that with new government restrictions in place that COVID-19 is very much here to stay for the moment. We pray for all those who are working at a vaccine and for those who are testing out vaccines. We thank God that the level of hospital admissions is still very low and the death rate is still very low, despite the significant rise in the number of positive tests. We recognise that there will be people who are very fearful at the moment, and we need to support them and to pray for them. And we recognise there's a lot of negative media speculation. I keep coming back to this. Speculation is not fact. And we recognise that there were times earlier in the year where provision was made for a level of infection and death which never happened. And we understand those precautions were necessary, but we understand that there is a difference between fear and reality, and that by sticking to the regulations, we should have no need to be subject to any inordinate fear. That most people that are dying at the moment are not dying of COVID-19, and therefore we want to support one another in making sure that we do go to the doctors if we have health issues that could be checked out, and there will be plenty of people in our community who need our help and encouragement as they face treatment for cancers and other serious illnesses. I'm concerned at Tardebigg that there may be people who think that the church is actually not doing services. Not everybody who was engaging with us before the lockdown has really engaged with us since then. The church is open. There are times in the week where you can go in and pray privately. We have conducted a wedding, we have conducted funerals. We could conduct baptisms. The problem is not with the service, it's with the do afterwards, when you can only have a social event for 6 people. But the church itself is open for services and nothing has changed. We started opening on the 2nd of August. And all the services that we've held in church since then have very much been family friendly, and those families that have come have very much enjoyed that. Don't forget, at the end of the year there will be school submissions going around, and they'll be asking people about regular church attendance. And because we started attendances again on the 2nd of August, we, as far as we are aware, we could easily be ending up counting service attendance pro rata. That is to say, we can't expect you to turn up when the church was shut, but the church shut for services on the 16th of March and reopened on the 2nd of August. So those people who think they can just sign a form on the basis that they would have gone if it wasn't for COVID-19, unless there's a significant serious health issue with the child that needs to be evidenced by a doctor, then, well, they'll need to come to church. And I wonder, I'm afraid that there might be 1 or 2 people who will struggle to get the requisite number of attendances in, because they have not engaged with us since March. We also are trying to look ahead and look at how we do services later in the autumn. We don't do services just for our own sake here at all. What we're trying to do is to do things that are going to be helpful, that are going to be accessible, and they're going to, above all, draw people closer to Jesus Christ. And we will be debating this matter very seriously in the next couple of weeks. because it may well be that the present situation with roughly this level of restriction could continue for a number of months now. There's certainly nobody saying, well, it looks as though we'll be able to ease up anything soon. And that means a little bit more effort to book in your bubble to come to services, although at the moment there is space generally at Tardebig if you just turn up. But it is still really helpful if you book in, because it helps us to make sure that we plot the bubbles correctly so everybody runs with the 2 metre social distancing that we need to maintain. And to remind you that when you come to a church service, unless you are in one of the categories where you do not need to do so, you do wear your face covering, you do put that mask on. The services are shorter than usual, and of course there's things we can't do, like sing hymns. But nonetheless, there are tremendous times where we can meet together and worship together. We do chat quite a lot outside afterwards. But there is something about being together in that building. It's a very prayed in place ever since its construction in the 1770s. And of course, the buildings that came before it, which could stretch back in time over 1,000 years. A house of prayer is a house of prayer, and you will be blessed by being there. So yeah, we thank God for the Cafe Church by Zoom that Dean and Jane are hosting, and we pray that that will continue and be blessed. But we look forward to seeing you in services in St Bartholomew's as well.